Welcome back to the channel, Soap fans. Tonight, we are breaking down the absolute madness at Windermere. Valentin and Carly walked right into an electrified trap, Ross Cullum revealed his ultimate hostage collection, and Sonny Corinthos is officially in the crosshairs. Let's get into it. I am literally shaking right now. I cannot even process what I just watched on my screen, and I am typing this up at 2 in the morning, because if I don't get these thoughts out of my system, I am going to explode. I have been watching General Hospital since the early 2000s, and I have seen some wild, unhinged, absolutely ridiculous things happen on Spoon Island. I mean, we all remember the Helena Cassadine days, right? But what Ross Cullum just pulled off in the wine cellar at Windermere, that might go down as one of the most stressful, anxiety-inducing cliffhangers this show has given us in years. And look, I know we all saw this coming. We knew Valentin, Cassadine, and Carly were going to storm the castle. Valentin literally told Carly he was going to risk his own freedom, turn down Sonny's help, and be the hero to get Jocelyn back. But did any of us expect them to walk into a trap that was this perfectly executed? Because I certainly didn't. Let's just start with the infiltration. Valentin leading Carly through the secret passages of Windermere was pure, vintage soap opera goodness. The man used to be the master of that castle. He knows every hidden door, every damp corridor, every single stone in that creepy basement. So when he confidently guided Carly through the dark, assuring her that they were going to slip in undetected and rescue Jocelyn, I actually believed him. I bought into his hubris. I was sitting on my couch cheering, thinking, yes, Valentin is back in his element. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Because the writers decided to completely pull the rug out from under us. Ross Cullum. Can we talk about Ross Cullum for a second? I know some people are getting tired of this guy, but personally, I think he is evolving into one of the best villains we've had since Peter August. And honestly, Cullum is way more competent than Peter ever was. Cullum didn't just sit around waiting to be invaded. He upgraded the infrared sensors. He knew exactly what Valentin was going to do. He anticipated the secret passage route. So Valentin and Carly step into the wine cellar, and suddenly, boom, the trap is sprung. An electrified steel net drops from the ceiling and completely surrounds them. An electrified steel net. I mean, come on, that is so incredibly campy and so perfectly Cassadine that I couldn't help but scream at my television. It was like something out of a comic book, but the stakes felt so incredibly real. The hum of the electricity, the blue sparks, the sheer panic on Carly's face when she realized they were literally caged like animals. And then Cullum steps out of the shadows. The lighting in this scene was phenomenal, by the way. The dark, moody shadows of the Windermere wine cellar, the glowing electricity from the net, and Cullum just strolling out with this absolutely sickening, evil smile on his face. He didn't even look worried. He looked like a man who had just checkmated a grandmaster. He walks right up to the electrified net and points his gun directly at Valentin's head. And you guys, the look on Valentin's face in that moment? Devastating. James Patrick Stewart is such a phenomenal actor. You could see every single ounce of his ego, his confidence, and his pride just shatter into a million pieces. Valentin realized, in that split second, that he had been completely and utterly outplayed. He dragged Carly into a suicide mission because he was too arrogant to ask Sonny for help, and now they were both going to pay the price. But Cullum wasn't done. Oh no, because Cullum is a showman. He snaps his fingers or gives a signal, and his goons emerge from the darkness dragging the hostages. And this is the part that completely broke me. They dragged out Jocelyn and Liesl Obrecht, and they were in chains. I'm sorry, but seeing Mama Obrecht and Jocelyn chained up like prisoners of war was deeply disturbing. Kathleen Gaddy and Eda McCoy have been acting their hearts out in that sub-basement set for weeks. We've watched Jocelyn try to be strong, trying to strategize, trying to use Anna Devane's old makeshift weapons, and to see her reduced to this? Dragged out by thugs, covered in dirt, looking absolutely terrified but still trying to glare daggers at Cullum? It was gut-wrenching. And Liesl, my god, has Liesl Obrecht not suffered enough? She just found out that her son Nathan is dead and cremated. She was slapped in the face with the reality that Cassius has been deceiving her, and now she's being paraded around in chains to finish Cesar Faison's sick cold fusion project. I am so fiercely protective of Liesl, and seeing her treated like leverage just makes my blood boil. But the absolute climax of the scene, the moment that is going to be all over Twitter and YouTube tomorrow, was Carly's reaction. When those goons dragged Jocelyn out in chains, Carly let out a scream that chilled me to my core. Laura Wright needs to submit this episode for her Emmy reel immediately. It wasn't just a scream of fear. It was the visceral, primal, helpless agony of a mother who is forced to watch her child suffer, while she is literally trapped in an electrified cage, completely powerless to stop it. Carly is a woman of action. She is the person who storms into danger, who yells, who fights, who manipulates, who does whatever it takes to protect her kids. And to strip her of all her power, to trap her in a net while a gun is pointed at her boyfriend's head and her daughter is chained up in front of her, it is the ultimate psychological torture. I know a lot of fans in the forums complain that Carly gets too much focus, and yeah, sometimes I agree that she eats the show. But you cannot deny that when the material is this heavy, Laura Wright delivers. I was crying. I am not ashamed to admit it. I was sitting in the dark, crying over a soap opera. Okay, back to the point, because we have to talk about Cullum's endgame here. While Carly is screaming and Valentin is staring down the barrel of a gun, Cullum delivers his villain monologue. And what does he say? He says that he finally has the complete collection to force Sonny Corinthos to his knees. Let's unpack that, because it is brilliant. Cullum isn't just trying to extort money. He is trying to completely dismantle the Corinthos empire, and he knows exactly where Sonny's weak spots are. Look at the board Cullum has set up. He has Carly, the absolute love of Sonny's life, the mother of his children, the woman he will always protect. He has Jocelyn, Sonny's former stepdaughter, a girl Sonny helped raise and loves like his own blood. He has Valentin, a powerful ally, enemy who holds massive influence in Port Charles. And he has Liesl, who is tied to the Phazon legacy and the cold fusion project that threatens the entire world. Cullum has literally gathered every piece of emotional and tactical leverage he could possibly find, locked them in the basement of a Gothic castle, and is now going to use them to break the most powerful mob boss on the eastern seaboard. Do they seriously think Sonny is just going to roll over and give up? Because part of me thinks Sonny will absolutely burn Windermere to the bedrock to get Carly and Jocelyn out. But another part of me is terrified, because Sonny is spread so thin right now. Remember, Sonny is already dealing with a Jen Sidwell mess. He's got Pascal tied to a chair in the coffee warehouse. He's trying to orchestrate this massive sting operation with Laura and Lucas. He's dealing with Christina moving to California. And now, he's going to get a ransom demand from Ross Cullum holding his entire world hostage in an electrified net. Sonny is going to lose his mind. Maurice Bernard is going to give us some legendary scenes next week. I can already feel it. But I am also so incredibly frustrated with Valentin. I love him, I really do. I've been a Valentin apologist since he first showed up on Spoon Island years ago. But his arrogance here is just infuriating. Jack Brennan specifically told him to contact the WSB operative Z. Brennan warned him that the situation was escalating. Carly wanted to go to Sonny, but Valentin wanted to play the lone wolf. He wanted to prove that he could protect Carly and save Jocelyn without relying on the Corinthos cartel or risking a return to Steinmauer. And look where that got him. He literally lived there. How do you not check for upgraded sensors? You are a former mercenary, Valentin. You are supposed to be a tactical genius. And now you're standing in a wine cellar with a gun to your head while the woman you love screams in agony. I am so mad at him, but I am also so heartbroken for him, because you could see the guilt washing over his face. He knows this is his fault. He knows he led Carly right into the slaughterhouse. Sometimes I contradict myself because I love the drama of it all, but I hate seeing my favorite characters suffer because of stupid decisions. But I guess that's the nature of the beast, right? If they made smart decisions, we wouldn't have a show. So what happens next? I have theories, and I need to share them because my brain is spinning. First of all, I don't think Cullum is going to pull the trigger on Valentin. He needs Valentin alive as part of the collection to torture Sonny. Plus, Valentin knows things about the Cassadine Empire and the Cold Fusion Project that Cullum might need. But I do think Cullum is going to torture them. I think we are heading into a massive, multi-week hostage storyline where Sonny has to jump through Cullum's twisted hoops to keep them alive. And where is Jason in all of this? I know he's in WSB custody taking the fall for Rocco, but my god, we need Jason to drop out of the sky and raid Windermere right now. Imagine Jason and Sonny teaming up to storm the castle, taking out Cullum's goons one by one. It would be cinematic, but since Jason is off the canvas dealing with his own mess, Sonny is going to have to rely on a different crew. Will Sonny bring in Dante? Will he use Lucas, since Lucas is already involved in the Pascal plot? Or will he actually surrender to Cullum? I can't picture Sonny Corinthos on his knees for anyone, but if Cullum sends him a video of Carly in that electrified net, or Jocelyn in chains, Sonny will do it. He will absolutely sacrifice his empire for them. I also have to wonder about Liesl and Jocelyn's dynamic now that they are officially part of the main hostage display. Jocelyn was trying to convince Liesl to stall the cold fusion project. But now that Cullum has Carly and Valentin, he has the perfect leverage to force Liesl to work. Finish the prototype, or I electrocute Carly. It writes itself. The stakes have never been higher, and the writers are firing on all cylinders. I know some fans are probably complaining on the message boards right now that this storyline is too dark, or that Windermere has been overused as a villain's lair. But honestly, I am here for it. This is high-stakes, gothic soap opera storytelling at its finest. An electrified net, secret passages, a gloating villain, a desperate mother. It is everything I want when I tune in at 2 p.m. I am going to be counting the hours until the next episode. I need to know how they get out of that net. I need to know if Valentin has a backup plan that he didn't tell Carly about. I need to know if Sonny is going to get the call before or after he finishes dealing with Pascal. If you guys have any theories about how this Windermere standoff is going to end, please drop them in the comments or the forums, because I need to talk about this with people who get it. Are we looking at a bloodbath? Is someone going to die? Is Cullum actually going to win this round? Let me know your thoughts, because I am officially obsessed with this storyline and I am dreading the weekend wait. Until next time, stay soapy, my friends.